everyone, and today we're going to do a reaction to the new Final Fantasy trailer and see what I think, because this is the first time I've actually seen it. I haven't actually watched it yet, so I thought I'd do a recording of me watching it. So here we go.
Who are we? What are the dominants? The power we wield, it wears away at our very being. It breaks us, it unmakes us, that its immaculate aspect might reveal itself. The icon.
There's going to be another war, isn't there?
Every day we delay brings us closer to disaster. We must move now.
The chaos he would wreak would sweep all of Valisthea into the abyss.
I unite the dominants, that we may bring an end to the strife, and found a new order to see us unto tomorrow. If I take the field, our duel will shake the island to its foundations.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on.
Looking good, I like it. It looks really cool. There's a few things I wanted to... Let's go through it. So, the story looks really cool. In a world full of tyranny and turmoil, there are those who would fight to take back control of their fate. And you get a bit of the gods fighting, or whatever they're called, icons, as he calls them. A bit of the storyline there. People like this bit because they like the Creative Business Unit 3, because they're the ones that created Final Fantasy 14 or redid it or whatever they did. Now, if we can get to that, where is that? This bit looks like there's going to be like boss battles or something along them lines that you fight with each other, which looks very, very different to any other Final Fantasy series. It looks a lot like, when I was looking at this initially, I was thinking it looks very, very mobile phone-esque. Like if you had to play it on a mobile phone, it does look a lot like you could do that, you know, with the buttons of where they are. But these maybe just with different icons that you can like. It looks very, I don't know, at the moment when it comes to the fighting part of it, it looks very, I don't know, like low budget fighter game more than a Final Fantasy namestay. Like these, when they're doing the numbers, you can tell that it's from the makers of Final Fantasy 14. Just the text and how it's like on board and stuff. I hate these numbers. I hate that they have these numbers coming out. People like numbers, but I don't know. It just ruins the whole aspect of it, I think. It looks like it's not going to be child friendly. So at least that's a merit, that there's going to go into sort of a more adult-esque game, rather than, you know, something for kids. And I think a lot of the times you think of Final Fantasy, it kind of borders that sort of thing where if they just kind of put it as an adult game rather than a you know, a game for kids. They could probably do a hell of a lot with it, and it seems like that's what they're doing with this game, which is really cool to see, because they can then explore much more of the story without having to hold back a lot. Again, this is another boss battle, and again, it's really, when looking at it, it does remind me of Final Fantasy 15. You know, where you just got all these different movesets and whatnot. And I wasn't really a fan of the combat in Final Fantasy 15. I thought it was very, very clunky. Maybe it's a little bit less clunky. I do love the cinematics. I do love the story. As I said, like, the story looks really, really cool. Aspect of it looks really cool. This looks cool. Like that. The matter of fact is the gods fight. And where is it now? This bit where, like, they're actually, I'm guessing you control one of the icons, which is really sweet. Ifrit versus Garuda and all these different. This is basically for, you know, these characters, for the, like, the gods, Ifrits and whatnot.
Awaken, child of fate. Awaken, Ifrit.
So yeah, I think we guessed with the other trailers before that, that he was going to be something to do with Ifrit. That's really cool. Again, it seems like, do they turn into them? Let's have a look. I don't know, something along the lines of he must turn into it or something. But summer 2023, so next year, which is really, really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested. I'm wanting to know what they're gonna do with it. I'm not convinced with the fighting, but again, when it comes to Final Fantasy games, I'd rather play it for the story than the fighting. So as long as the story looks as it does look really, really cool story. Yeah, so like they must summon the gods from within them. Sweet, it's sweet. But yeah, like this, like, it really looks cool, like the way they're fighting. It does look much more of a hack and slash game than a Final Fantasy game. A lot of Final Fantasy games you want to strategize on how you're going to beat an enemy, and I think that's what really makes a lot of the games excel. So like, I really like Final Fantasy VII Remake for how it makes you think. Even though it's got a lot of hack and slash elements, it still makes you think how you're going to defeat this boss or this person, because just hacking away doesn't always help. But it does look like it's got some sort of strategic elements to it with all these things that you can do. At the moment, it looks very one person. So like, when it comes to Final Fantasy games, it's always really cool to have a party, but it doesn't seem like there is a party here, unless all these people that they've been introduced to here are going to be part of the party. But then, why are they fighting? So they're doing little special moves, which I found really, really cool. It reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy X, where you could take control of the Aeons and use their basically fight with them and use their abilities. I thought that was a really, really cool thing to do. What I want to know is, obviously you've got all these little battle scenes where it's, you know, you're one person fighting Oh no, it does look like you can... Oh, well, what's happening here? If you look, this changes. Does that mean you can... Does that mean you can do different... You know, depending on the Aeon that it's got? Can you do different things? They're all different elementals. But I want to know if, like... Obviously that was in, like, enclosed battle. It'd be really cool to see if you can, like, go into a full-scale battle with all, like, your abilities and stuff. And, like, basically do what it shows on here, you know, where the Aeons are literally, like, destroying multiple people. There was a guy back here. I'm trying to find where he is now. Probably can't find him now. But yeah, they all seem like elemental people that you can gather. That's cool. This person here, he reminds me of the guy from Stranger of Paradise. But I don't want to know who the main characters are, because at the moment we've been introduced to a lot of people, but most of the time it seems like you are this person here. He seems to be the main protagonist. So we can gather this is the main protagonist, because this seems to be the person that you are when you're fighting. That's the same person, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So you're this... You're this character here. But does that mean that you're only this character and you don't really change? Or does it mean that these characters that we're getting introduced to are going to be part of our team? Clive. So we're just going to be Clive, or are we actually going to be other people? Trying to look to see if you can. So it seems like Clive's got a girlfriend. Go on, Clive. See, this here, doing the diamond dust on here, he's fighting a boss, but this seems to be not the same as when they were fighting like this. There's a Titan and an Ifrit. So it's completely different there. So yeah, I'm really excited for this game. It looks really cool. Again, not convinced on the combat. It looks more action RPG than it does anything that we've seen before in Final Fantasy. I didn't like it in Final Fantasy 15. I thought it was very clunky and really didn't work. I didn't really like the story to 15 as well. I thought it was very lackluster when it comes to Final Fantasy, and very generic. Hopefully this one looks really cool story, so I'm interested to see where it's going to go. And yeah, really excited, looking forward to it. And if you did like the video, please like, share, subscribe, comment, do what you will, and I'll see you on the next one.